global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. Things seems to be in this array this few days as we've all witnessed the case of APC because of Obaseki. We've seen that it has turned the whole country upside down. And then we also had cases of insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria, Taraba State, Katsina, and also southern Kaduna. Killings are on the increase. And also we've seen the case of peaceful protest, which was spearheaded by one Nastura. And right now he has been arrested, and the northerners are really calling for his immediate release. If not, the violence that was seen in 2011 election when Buhari was denied, according to them, denied the presidential office. They said what they will do this time will be worse than that, according to Bashi Tofa, the former presidential aspirant. Apart from that, we also have different issues here and there. Now, this time around, it has to do with the cabinet members of the current administration. Malami, who is the Attorney General of the Federation and also Minister of Justice and also Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has recommended to President Muhammadu Buhari the sacking of the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu. Malami, in a memorandum to the president, anchored his recommendation on several grounds ranging from diversion of recovered loot to insubordination and misconduct by Magu. So this they had learned. Multiple sources have said that Malami included short list of 3 candidates for consideration to replace Magu. But Magu is fighting back, and his supporters within the presidency says removing Magu at this time, when he has given muscles to Buhari's anti-corruption fight, will be a mistake. It is painful that the EFCC boss is facing certain powerful forces who have decided to remove him in spite of his remarkable achievement, the sources stated. But sources said also that given the weight of Malami's allegation against Magu, the president may be inclined to set up a probe panel that will look into the veracity of the allegation and make necessary recommendation. One of the sources told some journalists that, and I quote, he said, "I can't authoritatively tell you that though Magu has survived previous plot to remove him, the AGF legal opinion remained the deadliest plot to get Magu out of the EFCC, as the Attorney General of the Federation's letter to the President contained 22 weighty allegations that requires Buhari's decision on whether or not to send Magu's name to the Senate for confirmation or replace him. This is because the office of the AGF is the supervising ministry of EFCC, and so his legal opinion cannot be treated with levity. For example, Malami alleged accounting gaps or discrepancies of figure concerning the recovered asset, claiming that Magu was not transparent enough in the management of recovered assets. A Magu supporter said, and I quote, "It will interest you to note that Malami accused the EFCC boss of disclosing a total naira recovery of 504 billion, but lodged 543 billion in the recovery account with the Central Bank of Nigeria. Incidentally, this exceeds the disclosure figure by 39 billion. According to the reporter of the EFCC boss, what should be a point of commendation is now being used against Magu. Others said Malami also accused Magu of blatant display of arrogance and insubordination to him as supervising minister of EFCC. According to the source, Malami claimed that most of the recovered assets by the EFCC were allegedly sold by Magu without the knowledge of anyone. But it is unfortunate that this claim is at variance with the public auction of assets by EFCC, the source added. It will be recalled that many efforts have been made in the past to make the president to drop Magu since his appointment as EFCC acting chairman on November 9, 2015. The plot for his removal twice stalled his confirmation by the 8th Senate, prompting him to remain the interim head of the nation's foremost anti-graft agency. However, when the presidency insisted on Magu being confirmed, the previous Senate demanded the reversal of a damn security report on the issue, which it has cited as the reason for his non-confirmation. Many groups and individuals had also gone to court to challenge the continued stay of Magu as the acting chairman of the commission. But Justice Tr0ub1e of the Federal High Court in Abuja, in a judgment delivered in 2019 over consideration suit on Magu's status, had held that there was no time limit in the law establishing the commission for him to act as the EFCC boss. The judge further held that Buhari is holding the proverbial yam and knife on Magu, adding that the president should do the needful by sending the name of Magu to the Senate for confirmation. So much issues here and there, and it's really, really amazing that these things are happening. But if you want to ask me, EFCC boss, that's Magu, has done some great job. Let's be real, he has done a lot. And that some time ago, when they were demanding for residential houses to be used as isolation centers, most people were of the opinion that the EFCC have a lot under their care, which they need to deliberately release. But then, looking at some of the provision of their own laws, you now realize that anytime they recover any loot or recover anything, they have to send it back to the states. But it wasn't long. He had to release some for these people to start using. And if you go to EFCC page, you will notice that he's done a lot, in terms, especially these boys. The only thing that most Nigerians are not, they're looking at, and they tend to not recommend him so much, is the fact that there are more key issues in Nigeria which he should deal with, which had to some extent not been dealt with as expected. For example, this guy's issue came up, I don't know where it is right now. Nigerians, we do not even know, came up in the EFCC. I know the file is still there. I'm talking about the Minister of Niger Delta. And right now, nothing is said about it. And so the independency of EFCC to some extent is questionable. But I also believe that right now it is a little bit clear, because he is reporting to the supervising ministry, is actually the Ministry of Justice. So he's reporting to this guy, to Malami, which means that anything that Malami does not want, it cannot stand. It can't even see the light of the day. So which means that he may be remote control by friends of Malami, to some extent. But here Malami is bringing up the case of insubordination. And guess what? In an anti-graft commission of this magnitude, there is no way there won't be insubordination, because there are certain people you may tell him to release, which I believe he will not want to release, because he also is trying to protect himself. Looking at the issue of accountability, no matter how it is, I think that everything should be always in line with your reporting, system, accounting reporting system. If you're telling Nigerians 504 billion was amount recovered, it shouldn't be more than that, because when you do that, automatically people will begin to wonder, is there more which you have refused to uncover? So which means that whatever you are releasing must align with your report. You understand? Your accounting report. I think that is one, according to the information here, that's one of the issues that they have brought up against him. The fact that what he had reported is not what was included in the accounting report that he gave. But however, on the total, if you look at his performance, for me personally, I think he's above par. The president should not remove him, because he's doing a good job. And it's a personal opinion, It's a personal opinion. Magu, we cannot hide it. Yeah, he may not be the best and all of that, but then we have seen visible proof of their workings, though most of them are tailored towards all these Yahoo boys. But also we've seen cases in this thing which he had pushed. For example, Carlos' case got distorted by the court. Not that he did not push, he actually pushed. Let's just look at one or two recommendations of Nigeria. This one says, this Malami is a very corrupted public servant. He has committed a lot of atrocities in this administration. I wish Gambari can tell Buhari to fire him. Malami freed Uzo Kalu and many others. You can see people are talking from different perspectives. And another one here say, not a new thing. Farida Waziri, ex-EFCC boss, once locked up Magu for stealing suspect's file, going home with them, and blackmailing the suspect for money with the content of the file. That is part of the so-called report the ESS wrote against him that has delayed his confirmation. But Buhari prefers working with people of questionable character like him. Now one says here, both are fighting on how to divide the loot between themselves. If Magu was giving Malami money off the loot, he wouldn't have recommended for his sack. I guarantee you, Malami, the junior cabal. Another one says here, well, what actually caused the issue is unequal ratios to disclosure in loot share. Any other thing is just spice. Nigerian, yeah, but come to think of it, the level of corruption in the country is really, really unthinkable. You know, it's really on the hike, and that's why anytime there is issues of disagreement like this, especially when it has to do with a particular commission or agency controlling funds, you know, people will always tie it to the fact that the right amount has not been remitted to the superior as expected, and he wants the other person out so that he can bring in the kind of person who understands his runnings and all of that. But hey, that's where we're going to leave it. Can you go to our comment section? Let us interact. What do you have to say about this issue of Malami, you know, and EFCC boss? Do you think that the president will give consideration to some of the allegation built against EFCC boss? Let's interact in the comment section.